Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, as he was sitting in the group of Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'een, he said, "Man ya'khudh minni khamsan," who would take 5 things from me, فَيَعْمَلُ بِهِنْ أَوْ يُعَلِّمُ مَنْ يَعْمَلُ بِهِنْ. Take 5 things from me and practice it and teach it to those who can practice it. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu says, right away I got up and said, Ya Rasulullah, I would do it. He doesn't know what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is going to tell him. All Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, there are 5 things, I'm going to give it to you as a responsibility. Who is willing to take this responsibility? He doesn't know what that would be. It could be anything in the world. And Abu Hurairah is ready for it. Of course, other Sahaba were ready too. But Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu says, as soon as I heard that statement, right away I got up and said, I would do it, Ya Rasulullah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam called Abu Hurairah closer. He held his hand, and now he started counting it on his hands, so that he would remember it and would not forget it, because he's holding his hand and counting it one after another on his fingers. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu says, I didn't know what he was going to say, what type of responsibility I was going to carry, but I was ready for it. And here Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who was rahmatul lil alameen, who was the mercy for the mankind, who was a mercy for the whole world, for the whole universe, he brings such simple things. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu says, the first thing Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said as he held my first finger, he said, ittaqil maharim takun a'bad al-nas. Refrain from sins, you would be the most virtuous person. Refrain from sins, you would be the most virtuous person. This is really a title of long teachings that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught over a period of 23 years. Ittaqil maharim takun a'bad al-nas. As simple as it may sound, we see that our understanding of deen is really little different than what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is telling us in his ahadith. Normally for us, if I would like to be virtuous, all I think of, do more. So if I do a lot of nawafil, then I would become very virtuous. That's the first thing normally we would think about. Do something. Fast every day. I'm going to fast for 30 days because I would like to become more virtuous person. I would pay charities and I would pay this much this year because I would like to be a better Muslim. See, always our thought goes towards doing. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is reminding us that don'ts in Islam is very important. There are a lot of things that I taught you people, which means taught the ummah, where I say, don't do this. This thing is haram. You are not supposed to get into it. You are not supposed to do this. When you just think about do's and you don't think about don'ts, then you are neglecting a large portion of Sharia. This is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us. In fact, if you look at this hadith, he's telling us don'ts is more important than do's. Ittaqil maharim. Refrain from everything that is forbidden in this deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You would become the most virtuous person. Normally, as we do, after some time, shaitan will even bring the feeling to us, oh, mashallah, you're doing so much. And the person become convinced about his own virtuousness by doing something. Whereas the very same person, as he's doing so much on one side, on the other hand, he is falling into so many things that are forbidden by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and prohibited by His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But the person is continuously falling on that. Throughout the day, the person is doing things that are forbidden in the Sharia. But because he does few things that he thought would make him very virtuous, he never even thinks of stopping those things and never thinks of getting rid of these things in his life. And the person dies with those sins. Until this person's death, he keeps on doing these things. And this is one of the ways of shaitan, where the shaitan convinces us that you are doing very good with your deen because see what you're doing. And never let us even look at what haram we are falling into. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is reminding us, ittaqil maharim, refrain from sins, you would be the most virtuous person.